Sociant, will lead the final battle against Agra Manu and his forces. This reflects the ultimate triumph of good over evil. All souls will be resurrected and judged based on their deeds. The righteous will be rewarded, while those aligned with Raj will face purification. The sacred fire, a symbol of Ahura Mazda's light and truth, is maintained in temples and serves as a focal point for worship. Fire rituals emphasize the triumph of light over darkness. Zoroastrianism places great emphasis on maintaining physical and spiritual purity. Rituals for cleansing and purification reflect the duality of purity, aligned with Asha, and impurity, associated with Draj. Daily prayers and the recitation of Zoroastrian scriptures are intended to align the individual with the forces of good and repel the influence of evil. Zoroastrian concepts of duality have influenced other religious traditions, particularly Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, through their interactions with Persian culture during the Achaemenid Empire and beyond. Themes such as the battle between good and evil, the final judgment, and the resurrection of the dead have parallels in these later religious traditions, often reflecting Zoroastrian roots. Zoroastrianism's emphasis on the duality of good and evil, light and darkness, serves as a framework for understanding the moral and cosmic struggles inherent in existence. Unlike dualism, which posits an eternal and equal conflict, Zoroastrian duality is a temporary and resolvable tension within a monotheistic framework. This worldview underscores the ultimate triumph of good, the moral responsibility of individuals, and the transient nature of evil, offering a hopeful vision of cosmic harmony and justice. Zoroastrianism primarily emphasizes dualism, not duality, when considering the relationship between the opposing forces of Ahura Mazda, the wise Lord, symbolizing good, truth, and light, and Agra Menu, the destructive spirit, symbolizing evil, lies, and darkness. These two forces are portrayed as being in constant conflict, reflecting a cosmic struggle between good and evil. This is the foundation of Zoroastrian theology and ethics, where individuals are urged to align with Ahura Mazda through good thoughts, words, and deeds to help defeat Agra Manu. However, if we attempt to frame Zoroastrianism within the concept of duality, where opposing forces complement rather than conflict, there are elements in its cosmology that can suggest balance and interconnectedness rather than outright opposition. In Zoroastrianism, the material world is seen as the battleground for this cosmic struggle, while Ahura Mazda's creation represents order, Asha. It cannot exist without the challenge posed by chaos, Drudge. This interplay allows humans to exercise free will, a central tenet of the faith. Without the presence of Agra Manu, the concept of moral choice and the value of good actions would lack meaning. In this sense, The existence of both forces complements the purpose of creation. Zoroastrian eschatology teaches that the cosmic struggle will eventually end with the triumph of Ahura Mazda, resulting in the purification of the world. That's Frasho Careti. At this point, even Agra Manu and the forces of evil will be rendered powerless, and all existence will return to a state of unity and perfection. This suggests a broader perspective where the current conflict serves a purpose in the grand scheme of achieving ultimate harmony. Humans in Zoroastrianism are not mere spectators, but active participants in the cosmic order. Through their moral choices, they contribute to the strengthening of good and the weakening of evil. This highlights a balance in which human agency bridges the two opposing forces, creating a complementary relationship between the divine and the material realms. While Zoroastrianism is traditionally categorized as dualistic due to its depiction of cosmic conflict, these elements of interdependence, moral choice, and eventual harmony introduces a perspective that can resonate with the idea of duality, where opposites work together to fulfill a greater purpose. Now, after that, I want to go over some of the deities other than the Indo-European beliefs that were taking place, and that is where things kind of get that were taking place in Palmyra. Now that's where things kind of get interesting. This is where we go off into the Canaanite religions after discussing the Zoroastrian belief system and what that's all about. I will go ahead and start with these deities. These aren't all of them, but these are the ones that pertain to sky gods in the Canaanite religions that were related to Palmyra. So the first one is Belsamin, and that was mentioned earlier. I still need to find out if Belsamin is related to Hadad. In some texts they say that he is, and in some texts they say that they're two separate entities, so I don't know that for sure, just to make that clear. But instead of making it one, I'm going to read both of them and let you determine for yourself. Belshazzar was a prominent deity worshipped in the ancient Near East, particularly in the region of Syria and Phoenicia. His name translates to Lord of Heavens, emphasizing his role as a celestial god associated with the sky, storms, and fertility. Belshazzar had held a significant position in the pantheon of Semitic religions, influencing religious practices and iconography across cultures. The name Baal, from the Semitic root B/L, means Lord or Master. Shaman, from the Semitic root SM, translates to heavens or sky. Together, Belshazzar means Lord of the Heavens. Belshazzar originated as part of the broader Semitic religious traditions, particularly in the Levant. His worship could be traced to early Canaanite and Phoenician religious practices, where he was often associated with other deities like Baal Hadad, a storm and fertility god, and El, the chief god of the Canaanite pantheon. Baal-Shem was primarily associated with the heavens, making him a god of the sky, weather, and cosmic order. He was linked to fertility through his role in bringing rain and ensuring agricultural abundance. In some traditions, he was also considered a protector of life and a guardian of the cosmic balance. Baal-Shem was often depicted as a bearded man wearing a long robe and holding a scepter or thunderbolt, symbolizing his authority over the skies and storms. He was sometimes represented with solar or astral symbols, reinforcing his connection to the heavens. The most famous temple dedicated to Baal-Shem was located in Palmyra, an ancient city in modern-day Syria. The temple built in the 2nd century CE showcased Greco-Roman architectural influences combined with local styles. Worship involved offerings of incense, animal sacrifices, and rituals aimed at invoking his favor for rain, protection, and fertility. Both were sky gods, both associated with storms and rain, but Baal-Shem was often considered a more celestial or universal figure, while Hadad had a more localized role as a weather god. Baal-Shem's celestial attributes aligned with El, the high god of the Canaanite pantheon, and Yahweh, the god of ancient Israel, particularly in their role as sovereign deities of the heavens. Baal-Shem was sometimes associated with fertility goddesses like Astarte or Ishtar, which is also Inanna from the Sumerians. Ishtar is Inanna, reflecting the complementary relationship in assuring agriculture and reproductive abundance. The temple of Baal-Shem in Palmyra was one of the city's most iconic religious structures, blending Greco-Roman, Mesopotamian, and local Syrian architectural elements. It was a central site for worship, festivals, and community gatherings. Tragically, the temple was destroyed in 2015 by ISIS, who targeted it as part of their campaign against pre-Islamic cultural heritage.